Anthony Fantano. In hip-hop, it's a lot of controversial people in here, and Anthony Fantano happens to be one of them. He this white man. He this white man that just so happens to be a music reviewer. You know, he always rate music. He talking about everything. But right now, he's in controversy over something real bad. Right now, you know, streets is accusing Anthony Fantano of being a closeted racist, of being an alt-right demon. Basically, old clips been coming out showing Anthony Fantano looking real crazy, and I ain't gonna lie, some of these clips are really bad. I'm talking about he dropping F-bombs, he dropping hard R. But like with every situation, it's not necessarily just black and white. There's a lot that's going on into this conversation. There's a lot of things being taken out of context, and there's a lot of things that we're saying that context can't really save, especially coming from a black man. Some of the reasoning he gives in his response to all of this don't really work out, if we gonna be honest. And y'all gonna see as this video go on. And look, my point here is not to cancel nobody, not to push no crazy narrative. I'm getting on here, I'm speaking my mind, I'm speaking my truth as a black man looking in on this situation. Take that how you will. People already have the negative narrative around his name. A lot of people don't like Fantano because of some of his takes over the years, and you know, that's fine. That's what everybody. If you're on the internet, some people gonna love you, some people gonna hate you. I'm on the internet. Some people love me, some people hate me, and that's fine. That's how the internet works. But with this nigga, it's kind of taken to another level because one, he is a white man. Two, he do be having some real interesting takes. Now, a lot of his takes, he might back up, he might explain himself, and it might make sense, but then other times, you kind of look and you're like, that take wasn't it. Point is, hip-hop's relationship with Anthony Fantano hasn't always been the greatest thing ever. So for this situation to come out, a lot of people would start to dog on him. And one of the people that just so happened to be at the forefront of this all was the one and only DJ Academics. Well, I'm not gonna necessarily say DJ Academics, but his Twitter account, Academics TV. No lie, one of the worst Twitter accounts in hip hop. That shit be spreading so much BS. Like, a prime example of this, Krishan Rock, she was posting her baby. The Academics TV Twitter account was on Twitter just disrespecting the baby. I'm talking about calling the baby all kind of names, calling it dumb. Like, I ain't even trying to say what they were saying about this baby, but that Academics account was going crazy talking about Krishan Rock and her baby. Another example, back when Platboy Max and Academics and everybody was just coming to Academics, back when he said that weird shit. Y'all remember back in January? Act was talking to Max little homie. He was talking a little crazy. Went viral everywhere. So it's like a defense mechanism. Instead of, you know, taking accountability, Act would turn around, had his account start pushing false narratives about everybody who had something to say about him. He was throwing out tweets about Max. Then you actually look into the context, you look into the situation, you're like, damn, he really trying to push this bad narrative.
I go on stream, the Central C Day. I said, I have this plan for today. I'm not giving this weird ass shit attention right now because we got some shit planned. This is weird. Next day come act mad because I didn't call him and ask him about the clips because they were out of context. When the clip shows this nigga literally asking Noah if he would f me or if he would f my sister. How's that out of context? Regardless, I tell bro, yo, just apologize to Noah, take accountability, move forward. Running around the apology a little, talking about something. Yo, if I ever apologize to you when they say, yo, if felt away, I apologize to them. That's not an apology. But I'm not finna sit here and argue with a grown man on why you should apologize to a kid for asking them these weird questions because I have a life and some I gotta do. Why are you getting your page, whether you're behind it or not, to go and try and tarnish my name with old clips? Now, what were these clips? There were clips talking about, oh, Max is telling a kid to wash his ass. Look, bro, it's literally just false captions. He's taking shit from burner pages. Nigga, this a plug. On some Your Age, it's a plug channel, nigga. On some 2017 Your Age, it's a plug. But I'm gonna always call out some shit for what I see. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I don't care how big you are in the industry. I don't care how much pull you have in the industry. Because at the end of the day, that bio say founded and ran by academics. So if you wanted to, you have enough pull to take down those clips defaming me because you know they're not true. Blackboy Max goes on a date with a 9-year-old. You got me up, nigga. Nigga, if you watch the clip, it's literally not true. Nigga, whoever your publicist is, that nigga.
When dealing with this Academics TV Twitter account, you really want to take everything with a grain of salt because a lot of the narratives that get pushed here are crazy. And make sure you tap in with me on Twitch at GetLikePrincee. I'm trying to go over there and I'm trying to start streaming more. You might as well come through. I'm gonna try to be consistent. So yesterday, Academics TV, they will post this tweet, right? Alleged audio has leaked of white closeted hip hop reviewer Anthony Fantano saying the N-word. And in this clip, Anthony Fantano definitely dropped the hard R, right? But there was context to it. Now, this goes back to my point on if the context can really save what he was saying or not. But I don't think it does. Basically, Academics TV posted this tweet, then it was posting all these other tweets just going in on Anthony Fantano. And basically the context of this clip of what Anthony was saying, I can't even repeat it. He dropped the hard R, then he dropped the F-bomb after that. I can't say that on YouTube, but that's what he says, right? And he comes out, he's like, you know, my defense to this was I was quoting what somebody else was saying. And he might not be wrong there. You know, he's quoting what somebody else is saying, but it's what the person was saying. You know how, like, you in class, for example, teacher reading a book, it might have a hard R in there. The teacher gonna read it out loud. And you know, a lot of people got problems with that. And I think it's the same situation with Anthony Fantano. He was quoting what somebody else said. But why? Why would you quote this person that's dropping the hard R? Knowing the optics behind that. Because one, you already a guest in hip hop. This ain't your culture. You came into our culture, right? So for you to get on here and repeat what somebody else is saying when you're already a guest in our culture is crazy. The optics behind that just wasn't thought about because you said this. At the time, he was a grown man. It's not like, oh, Anthony Fantano was about 15, 16 when he said this. Anthony Fantano was a grown-ass man. He was probably in his 30s when he's saying this. So he knew what he was saying. He knew the looks behind it. He knew that he wanted to be a part of this hip-hop culture, yet was saying the things that he was saying anyway, and his defense was, you know, I was just quoting what somebody else said. That's why I'm saying I don't know if context can necessarily save this situation, because what was said was still said, even if the intent behind it wasn't necessarily malicious. It might not have been him directly hating black people or directly disrespecting black people, but he was still quoting something that he had no business saying. Anthony Fantano, he's getting hella backlash. The whole internet dogging him. All yesterday, you get on Twitter, man, Anthony Fantano getting canceled, he getting canceled. You know how niggas get to hating, especially to somebody they don't like. And he would drop a response today, a couple hours ago. And this response has been going overly viral. It said, what, 2.5 or around 2 million views in just a few hours. So we're gonna watch it together. And this wasn't the only time these things got through at him. Not only did he drop the hard R, you know, people found clips of him speaking on Trayvon Martin, which he explains in this video. They say he's being racist about that. They saying he closeted. They saying he real alt-right, supporting a lot of the people on that side. We just gonna see what he says and get some thoughts on it.
Which is nothing new for me personally, but the discourse seems to have reached a fever pitch that's making a lot of people concerned and angry and even thinking I'm covertly a racist, bigoted person. Now, these are the same sorts of allegations that I have fought against and won before.
Now, this right here, this is what I'm saying. This has gotten brought up in the past. And there was this Fader argument where Anthony Fantano and Fader went back and forth. And we can actually pull this article up right now. Well, I don't know about the exact article, but an article from that time period speaking on it. The article he just pulled up. The Fader deletes Anthony Fantano argument amid settled agreement. The Fader published an article about Anthony Fantano's second channel. And this second channel was real 2016, real edgy. If you was around back during that YouTube time period with Leafy and iDubbbz and all them weird ass niggas, you had the whole internet, that whole side of YouTube was just edgy as hell. And a lot of the things I done seen today about Anthony Fantano, he was real edgy. He was real on that side of the internet. He was pushing it a little too much. But this article says, back in October, the Fader published an article about an alternative YouTube channel that once belonged to Anthony Fantano. The article cited videos posted to a since deleted channel called This Is The Plan in an attempt to map out Fantano's political ideology. Fantano's response to the Fader, he says that they mischaracterized and miscontextualized the nature and intent of the videos on this channel. This wasn't the first time people done tried to throw some allegations or some weird feelings toward Anthony Fantano.
Exhibit A, this clip right here, which has just been going absolutely viral, and here's
very viral, because He did say something crazy, but I'm gonna let y'all hear his reasoning on why he said what he said.
My explanation for it. Early on in my YouTube career, I had some pretty lax views when it came to quoting the language of others. And my point of view was, what does it matter? It's not me saying it. I'm relaying a lyric or a sentiment or a point of view expressed by someone else. I'm even embarrassed to say that I don't think it was until like a few years ago that I actually changed and censored the text of this 2014 Death Grips review title. And as you can see in the comments of this video, there's even a lot of discourse and jokes flying around about me not saying the title. And at the time, this sort of thing left me feeling like this is more or less a moral gray area. I extended this attitude into other pieces of content I've made, like this one, where it is also clear I am quoting someone even in the tightly edited state this clip has been presented.
Point is though, like I said, that's still not a real defense to what he's saying though. You can say that, oh yeah, I was just quoting somebody, but you still knew what you were saying. You still knew how that would sound to the masses, because getting on this clip, dropping the N-bomb, then turn around, you know, you trying to be a part of hip hop, that's a crazy look.
And the reason I'm doing so is to voice disagreement with calling people racial and homophobic slurs as a bit, which is what the original content creator I was quoting was doing. And he himself has since apologized for this whole era of his career, but I'm not getting deeper into the weeds than that because this video isn't about him. Because the fact of the matter is I should have and could have just censored myself while pointing this behavior out. But unfortunately, my position left me feeling kind of nonchalant because it's not the words themselves, but the sentiment of them that's being expressed that's truly disgusting. And sure, while that is true on some level, explicitly quoting him was in bad form and just unnecessary. I would have still gotten my point across and done so without upsetting anybody had I taken that approach.
At least he's taking accountability for what he's saying though. Yeah, this is a terrible look, but with the context, is it as bad as the narrative that they are pushing on Twitter? That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a hard question to answer because like he wasn't necessarily disrespecting black folk, like I said, but at the same time he was. At the same time he's saying these words knowing the weight that's behind it, but it's just excusing it as, oh, I was reading something or I was quoting something.
I feel this way now because of an important realization I only made after tons and tons of people were watching me, that I don't make content just for me, I do it for an audience. And I can't dictate what anyone watching may or may not find harmful or offensive. No more than with a review, I can dictate what music you do or don't like. So I would rather err on the side of caution and not hurt anyone by explicitly voicing language that doesn't exist in a vacuum, even if I am quoting it. And that's actually been my approach for a very long time now. I mean, this clip may be new to you, but it's actually almost 10 years old. If this was ever something I made a regular habit of doing, believe me, you'd be seeing more examples than this. All I can do is take ownership of having quoted these words in this way, and obviously say that I'm sorry, which I am in fact sorry about this. Now, there are going to be some people watching this video who will say, no, that's not enough. I know you're a racist. I saw a clip of you laughing at Trayvon Martin's death,
now,
which I guess this is the clip.
This is what I was talking about. Now, this clip that Academics TV was pushing and all these Twitter accounts was pushing was edited and taken out of context. In this clip, he was talking to some weird niggas, and the dude he was talking to said something real crazy. They was talking about Trayvon Martin. Super chat had got sent and it had text to speech. The text to speech read it out loud. One of the dudes he was on stream with was like, F Trayvon Martin. And he was like, oh my bad, I didn't mean to say that. Some real weird energy getting pushed out by these niggas that Fantano was making content with. And in the clip, he does say, oh, you're dumb for saying that. He's like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. But still, you're on their platform. You're giving them a piece of your platform. Technically, nigga, you on stream with them. You right there.
Vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fucking Trayvon. I was thinking Trey Melvin. I had a big thing with Trey Melvin.
Which I will agree, that doesn't look good. But believe it or not, the way this clip has been presented is a lie, and it's been heavily edited too.
See, this is what I'm saying. The clip did sound bad. When you hear him play the unedited part, you're gonna be like, okay. But still, this clip is a bad look.
The clip has been presented is a lie, and it's been heavily edited too. First off, I gotta say, the Drunken Peasants podcast where I was appearing in that clip is explicitly not a right-wing podcast. While yeah, it's true the show has featured a pretty wild range of guests over the years, satires and the humor tends to run a bit edgy, they also regularly make fun of right-wingers, alt-right psychopaths, and the president. And in this clip that you just saw, I'm reading a super chat that is on the screen that was sent in by a viewer of the show. And the reason I'm jumping into reading it is that partially it is a dig at me, because on the show it's not exactly a secret that I'm an openly liberal vegan. And from there, here is what actually happens.
A vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fuck Trayvon. I was gonna. I was gonna say Trey Melvin, but it's no Trayvon Martin.
Man, you're so. You know what, Jeff? You're so right wing.
As you can see there, that is not the clip that is getting passed around. In this original clip, Jeff Holiday there on the podcast doesn't even finish his sentence. He apparently gets Trayvon Martin mixed up with someone else entirely, and I even call him a moron. Because that is obviously something moron would communicate. So voila, that's actually what happened in that clip. With all that being said, I realized a long time ago that
Now the clip was taken out of context and he did kind of call him out. Now it wasn't him like, oh, I'm shutting this shit down, like, bro, don't ever say nothing like that. He was just like, you know, you tripping, don't repeat that.
do need to be careful about who I talk to and what platform I appear on publicly, because in the eyes of the wrong person, any association or appearance can be read as a deep tie or an endorsement of an idea that I don't fucking agree with. Like, for example, if I did a stream with this guy.
Now he about to call out Act, and Act responded to this, and I don't know what Act said, but some telling me he about to be crashing.
Or appearance can be read as a deep tie or an endorsement of an idea that I don't fucking agree with. Like, for example, if I did a stream with this guy tomorrow.
Now I can't play the clip. If I play this academics clip, the video will get took down. That's why I got struck back in January. It was the academics clip of Platboy Max friend where Act was like, man, would you F Max? He was saying all this weird stuff to a dude he had no business saying this to.
So while I know that nobody owes me their forgiveness and I can't control what everyone thinks about me, I'm going to continue to do my best to make sure that I'm not sending across the wrong idea, especially considering a lot of the music I review and endorse on a regular basis deals in some pretty heavy and serious topics. Topics that I would be completely in opposition to were I a bigoted weirdo. But as much as this is a principle of mine, I would also like to be spared the headache of just some freak trying to frame me disingenuously. White supremacy is like really at a peak right now, and because of that, it's vitally important that when things are being called out as legitimately racist, that those accusations actually mean something. If there's something I've missed, I will try to circle back. That is, if we are talking about a case of something I've actually said or done or felt. I appreciate you watching, even if from here you don't see it in your heart to forgive me. Okay, boom. Forever.
Very interesting apology. Now, he wasn't like other niggas. He didn't get on here and start boohoo crying. Oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. He got on here. He explained his points. He explained his reasoning, and he stood on what he's saying, that he not no racist, that he don't do this and he don't do that. But that's where problems come. A lot of people are feeling the way about this apology. Remember, it just came out. You got niggas on Twitter feeling the way. Y'all got niggas on Twitter feeling like Anthony Fantano in this apology didn't even really want to apologize. He did seem very annoyed having to apologize about the things that he said. Even if he did give the context behind him, he still said what he said, and it still has an effect on the black community, his black fans, the black people that watch his videos. So for him to have this little attitude, to sound how he sounded, for that to get backlash, it kind of makes sense. You know, that apology alone, it sounds good until you kind of look across the internet and you see all of these different examples that people decided to bring up. Now I'm gonna play some of these clips. They will be heavily censored, but there's been multiple times where Anthony Fantano has dropped the N-bomb. This one clip is an example of that. I'm gonna just play it real quick. It's gonna be censored, but I'm gonna let y'all hear it.
The whole Alex is a thing.
Real nibbas do stuff.
Who infamously called Ian a nigger. Harvey Weinstein. What's your opinion on Mike Dean producing the new Nick Gurr album? I'm not even a really big Nick Gurr guy.
So there's multiple examples of Fantano moving a little crazy. This apology. It said that Anthony Fantano just making almost 10-minute response video just to condescendingly gaslight everyone. Bro took no real accountability and just sounded hella annoyed at us for just now seeing it. But like I said earlier, he dropped Act name in his clip, and Act will respond. Act will reply and say, you racist bitch, just apologize. How you deflected mentioning me rather than taking accountability. You're racist. Typical colonizer. Then Ack would get on stream and react to the clip.
Hour and a half conversation, you see the nigga troll me, I troll him back. Ack, you a grown man, you shouldn't troll him like that. Got me. I take my L, cool. Twitch mad at me, all right, cool, all right, bet, whatever. I'm gonna catch y'all later, cool. Nigga, I could have sat here and cried like a. I could have sat here and cried and be like, no, what about him? What about him? Bro, cool. Me and Max cool now. Like, bro, like, at first I was like, I ain't like how Max did something, but like, nigga, over time, I got over it. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, man, we talk. This is why niggas like Anthony Fantano is pussy. You see what y'all finally going through? Y'all try to put me through every day. And I had to sit on it. Pause. I had to eat it. Pause. All right, extra pause. All right, that sounded crazy. But what I'm trying to say is that's it. Don't respond to Academics TV or nothing. We talking about your pussy ass. You feel me? Because just like how you trying to tweet this 7-second clip, you a pussy, my nigga. Like, earn up to what you did, nigga.
And on top of everything else that was already said and everything that's done happened, a lot of clips and a lot of really ammo against Anthony Fantano would come out. This woman would get online. They actually going back and forth right now. She would get online and post an 8-minute video of all of these different clips with Anthony Fantano saying this and saying that and supporting this person and supporting that person. I ain't about to sit here and watch this whole 8-minute video on just him saying crazy shit, but just know this is a more than one-time thing. There's many different examples of Fantano moving crazy or moving in the way that he shouldn't have been moving. Is this the end of Anthony Fantano? I don't think so. He's going to be fine after this, but this will be a forever stain on his career. You know how I always say in my videos, some controversy comes and goes. Some controversy will leave a forever stain on your career. And I think this might be one of them. I didn't even know The Alchemist tweeted this. The Alchemist tweeted and said, anyone surprised about Anthony Fantano? Shaking my head. Off topic, Alfredo 2 and him and Freddie Gibbs, great album. Point is, I think this man, Anthony Fantano, is in a terrible position. Will he be fine? Yes. Is this a bad look? Yes. This is going to be something people forever talk about. And if more examples and more clips come out of him, you know, saying out of pocket shit or talking a little too crazy on black topics or black people, it's going to cause problems. But what do y'all think? How do y'all feel about this situation? Do y'all feel like maybe people overreacting because he wasn't necessarily being hateful, but still said what he said? Or is the hate he's getting actually justified? What do y'all think in the comments? Let me know.